is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. And today, guys, I am here to talk about some Fox movies that I want to see come to 4K under this new Disney-Sony partnership. That is right, guys. In case you didn't know, Disney and Sony are in cahoots. Sony is going to be distributing, manufacturing, and putting out Disney movies on 4K and Blu-ray going forward. And of course, the Fox catalog, Hollywood Pictures touched on it. They get to that. Who knows? But they're supposed to be, of course, doing their new stuff, the new Disney movies, the new Marvel movies. All that stuff's going to be under Sony. They're going to be responsible for all that stuff under this new deal. But the hope is that they actually do what Disney should have been doing this entire time and paying attention to their back catalog. Movies from the Fox catalog, movies from the Hollywood Pictures catalog, movies from the Touchstone catalog, and putting those out and giving those brand new 4K remasters, or in some cases, maybe Blu-ray scans, that movies that hadn't even been upgraded from DVD, because Disney just sucks that bad, guys, that they have to have Sony come in and do all this stuff for them because they haven't been doing their damn job, and they've been so focused on frickin' Disney Plus this whole time. Anyway, I complain about Disney too much, guys. Look, I am not Disney's favorite son. That is why I do not have my James Cameron 4Ks in yet. So maybe I should have been spending my time sucking up to Disney, and I would have those in right now so I could talk about them. But instead, I'm talking about movies that I want to see on 4K under the new Sony Disney partnership. I am going to be getting True Lies, The Abyss, and Aliens. I ordered them from Amazon, but I'm dealing with the same thing that everybody else seems to be dealing with right now, and that is delays. Apparently, they didn't manufacture and make enough of the 4Ks, the James Cameron 4Ks. Go figure, people want to buy those. They're long-awaited 4Ks. They didn't make enough. I think it said like some kind of supplier issue or something, and I'm like, okay, whatever, Disney, you know, you're doing the same crap. We've been waiting for this stuff for so long. This should have been ready. But I complain too much about Disney. I don't want to do it in this video. We're going to talk about positive things, positive change from what I hope. I mean, I did a video a couple of weeks ago talking about the Sony-Disney partnership. I was pretty negative about it. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm hoping, look, I'm hoping to God that I am wrong. Like, I really am. I want to see the floodgates open and us just get all the movies that we want on 4K from the Fox catalog, Touchstone, Hollywood Pictures, all that stuff, guys. I want to see it happen. That's why I'm talking about it here today. I want these movies to come to 4K, and I would be glad to be wrong and they come to 4K. I just don't see it. Even with the Sony deal, guys, I just don't see the floodgates opening. But there is some hope, because there was an update after I made that video. Bill Hunt put something out talking about how Sony is actually going to have a say-so in what gets put out on 4K. So hopefully with their track record and the Columbia Classic stuff that they've restored and put out, and just the fact that I feel like Sony just has done a good job in paying attention to the catalog, and putting out their own movies on 4K, and they're always great quality, and they've got good features, and I just feel like they're in good hands with Sony for sure. But my fear was, if Disney was going to have the ultimate say-so, then we still wouldn't get what we were already, supposed to be getting, and they weren't going to pay attention to the catalog, and Sony was just going to do the Marvel and Disney and Star Wars stuff, and that was it. But if Sony actually has a say-so, if they can actually nudge, ultimately, I'm already messing up my words, guys, again. Ultimately, Disney is going to have the final say-so on what goes out. But hopefully Sony can just work that magic and nudge them in the right direction. And according to Bill Hunt in his recent article about a week ago, that's the case. And they do have some influence over Disney and what gets put out. But before we get into it, guys, like the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We talk about physical media on this channel: Blu-rays, 4Ks, owning the movies that you love, all that stuff there behind me. I try to every single day talk about that kind of stuff. So hit the subscribe button and also leave me a comment down below, guys. I could have probably made a list of 50 Fox titles that I want to see come to 4K. Let me know what some of your favorites, what some of your most wanted Fox catalog titles that you want to see in 4K are in that comment section below. Okay, let's get into it. I've got a stack of 10 movies right here. Well, actually 11, because I cheated a little bit, but I wanted to do 10. But let's go ahead and get into it. We've got Planet of the Apes, and I feel like why does this not have a 4K? Why does the original, and the pack that I have right here, guys, is actually pretty cool because it has all 5 of the original Planet of the Apes movies, which I have not seen the sequels. I've only seen the original. And this was like $5 at Big Lots. Like, I got a really good deal on this, but I'm talking about the original Planet of the Apes movie starring Charlton Heston. Why does that not have a 4K with all the, Planet of the Apes, like prequel movies that came out a number of years ago? The Planet of the Apes should have been put out on 4K. I put that on Fox more than anybody. Fox should have put that movie out on 4K. But now, under the new Sony deal, I could really honestly see us getting a Planet of the Apes 4K box set, hopefully with all 5 of these movies in 4K. But I really just want that first one. I would love all 5, but I really want that first one in 4K because it's just such a classic film. And I feel like you put that out in 4K just in time for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes to come to Blu-ray in 4K. Get a nice steelbook when it comes out on physical media because Sony will be doing that one as well. And I think it'll be great. I think they need to do that because that would be perfect. And people, will be in an apes mood and they will want to get Planet of the Apes on 4K. So that is definitely one that we need to come to 4K from the Fox catalog. This one is a Christmas movie. I know Christmas is over, guys, but Miracle on 34th Street is a beautiful Christmas film that will look great on 4K. It's a black and white film, so the Blu-ray looks good, but I love black and white and 4K, guys. I love the way it looks. It just, the contrast, the deep blacks, it just really looks amazing. Everything's so defined. And you can just see it all and notice everything. And it just looks so crisp. I love it. But Miracle on 34th Street is definitely one of my favorite Christmas movies, and I would love to see it on 4K for sure. And another Christmas movie, guys. Look, we got the first one a number of years ago with a cool steelbook with paint cans on it and everything. I still regret not getting it, but we need the second Home Alone movie on 4K. Like, we need this on 4K. Like, the first Home Alone and the second Home Alone, like, to me, they're of equal importance. I know the first one is the first one and it's classic, but I love part 2. And if we have part 1 on 4K, we need part 2. I'm not saying we need 4 or 3 or 5 or the new Home Alone. We don't need those. We just need the first 2 with Macaulay Culkin, Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci, Catherine O'Hara. We need the first 2 Home Alones on 4K. We need Home Alone 2. I feel like a lot of people have been wanting this one. And they could do some cool things with the city and the steelbook. That would be awesome. So Sony, get on this Christmas and give us Home Alone 2 like we deserve. And the next one I want to talk about is a classic John Carpenter film, and that is Big Trouble in Little China. So I know Scream Factory has a version of this, but I just have the regular Blu-ray standard edition. So a lot of people have been wanting Big Trouble in Little China in 4K and assuming that Scream Factory would eventually do it. But the thing is Scream Factory does not have the rights to Big Trouble in Little China anymore. The main reason is because Fox would actually license stuff out. So they licensed this movie to Scream Factory, among other titles that we'll talk about here today. And then when Disney took over Fox, no more licensing. So they lost the license to it. They could not upgrade Big Trouble in Little China to 4K. You have to imagine that they would have upgraded this if they still had it. Like, this is a huge John Carpenter film that would sell very well. But yeah, this is a classic movie, guys. Kurt Russell. I love this movie. It's a great John Carpenter movie that will look so good in 4K. So Sony, guys, I don't know if you want to give this one back to Scream Factory. I don't know what kind of licensing deals are going to go on, if any, but Sony, just do this one in 4K. Give it a nice Sony steelbook with a classic poster on it, and it will look amazing. But Big Trouble in Little China absolutely needs a 4K. Absolutely needs a 4K for sure. Next up, guys, we've got more titles that were licensed to Scream Factory years ago. This is a big one, guys. David Cronenberg film, The Fly. A lot of people want The Fly on 4K, me included. This will look amazing on 4K. All the gross makeup effects, all that stuff, it just looks so good in 4K with HDR, Dolby Vision. So Sony, if it's in your power, give the horror fans what they want this October and give us The Fly on 4K. This will look absolutely amazing for sure. And we've got more horror to talk about, guys. Another one that was licensed to Scream Factory. They did a box set a number of years ago. And this is a real classic right here, guys. This is a classic horror movie directed by Richard Donner, and that is The Omen. And this, again, perfect timing. A new Omen movie is getting ready to come out, the first Omen. So this, I think the first Omen is supposed to be the first release that Sony is doing for Disney. So perfect. So start working on this one right now and get it out on 4K when you release the first Omen on Blu-ray and 4K this summer. So yeah, The Omen, and guys, look, what can you say about The Omen? I really like The Omen. I don't love it like some people love it. I actually prefer the sequel, The Omen 2. But I don't think that, we'll get that one on 4K. I just want the first one on 4K because it's such a classic horror film. Damien, it's all for you. We need that in 4K. So, Sony, Disney, Fox, put this one out in 4K for sure. All right, guys, so I lumped these two in together because they go together, guys. It's Die Hard and Die Hard with a Vengeance. So we got the first Die Hard on 4K from Fox a number of years ago, and a lot of people, look, I didn't bring over Live Free or Die Hard or A Good Day to Die Hard. I don't think those have 4Ks. I'm pretty sure that they don't, but people might want those on 4K, maybe do a 4K box set, but people really want Die Hard 2 and Die Hard with a Vengeance for sure. So we need both of these immediately on 4K. Get them out by this Christmas because everybody says Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm not in that camp. I'm just not. Say what you want in the comment section. I'm just not. But put them out for Christmas for everybody. The physical media fans, the Die Hard fans would love it. So Die Hard 2 and Die Hard with a Vengeance would probably look great in 4K as well. It's been a long time since I've seen both of these movies. I need to give them a rewatch, to be honest, but classic action movies. This one, guys, is very close to my heart, and I would love it so much if this got a 4K. And I don't want to hear no crap about comedies don't need 4K, kid. I'm tired of that crap. I'm tired of it. I want every movie on 4K. Look, I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm selfish. I want every movie. I'm greedy. I want them all on 4K. At least the ones that I love. And Mrs. Doubtfire would make a great 4K. This movie will look so good in 4K. We need it in 4K, guys. We need Robin Williams dressing up like a woman, even if it's politically incorrect now in today's climate. I don't care if anybody complains about it. Put Mrs. Doubtfire out. Doodaloo! Whipped cream mask in 4K. We need it, guys. Don't we? I'm getting wild today, guys. But I love this movie so much. It's honestly it's probably in my top 5 comedies of all time. Easy, maybe in my top 3 comedies of all time. And I don't know when this Blu-ray came out, but I've watched it. It's a decent Blu-ray, but this movie actually has some really good visual qualities to it. And I think it will look really great in 4K. And comedies need the 4K love too. I've never been one to say this movie needs a 4K and this doesn't. If it looks good visually, and I can imagine it being better in 4K, then I want it in 4K. What can I say? Mrs. Doubtfire, we need that in 4K. This movie, though, would look incredible in 4K. It's set on an island and just has so much great visual quality and set design and scenery to look at. And in 4K, it will look great. Castaway. I want this on 4K. Now, there is a rumor that this is one of the first ones that is on Sony's list that they want to put out on 4K. So hopefully we'll get this one sooner rather than later. But Castaway, guys, directed by Robert Zemeckis. I think this is Tom Hanks' best performance. I think this is Tom Hanks' best movie. Of course, people would say Forrest Gump, which is also directed by Robert Zemeckis, which I love Forrest Gump. But I just think that this movie is all Hanks. This whole movie is Hanks. The whole way through, he carries the entire film, and he gives such a masterful performance. And I just love this movie so much. It will look so good in 4K. You cannot tell me this movie wouldn't look great, spectacular in 4K. And we absolutely need it. So Castaway, guys, let me know in the comment section below. Do you want it on 4K? I know you do. Wilson! In 4K. We need it. All right. Last but not least, guys, this is Who is the director again? David Fincher. How did I forget David Fincher? This is a David Fincher film under the Fox catalog, and I know this would make a lot of people happy if we got this movie in 4K. Definitely me as well, because I do really like this movie. Fight Club definitely needs a 4K. Just think of all the cool like 4K slipcover and steelbook designs that they could do with this one, you know, with the soap, and it would just be awesome, guys. The fighting on the back, you could put bitch tits on the back of the steelbook, the soap on the front, all nice and embossed. It would look extraordinary. So I'm talking more about the steelbook than I am the actual 4K. The movie definitely has a lot of visual style and substance and would just look spectacular on 4K. Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, such great performances. If you haven't seen Fight Club, get out there, guys, and see Fight Club. You will definitely want this movie on 4K as much as me. And since Fincher, you know, it seems like he is starting to pay attention to 4K and upgrade his movies to 4K. We got The Social Network and the Columbia Classic set a couple of years ago. We got Seven, hopefully coming to 4K. Hopefully that's on the way soon. I know there's a box set that was delayed overseas, but hopefully we get that official announcement this year. So hopefully Fincher goes in and does, I would say, one of his most iconic movies, if not his most iconic movie for a lot of people, Fight Club. On 4K. So yeah, definitely a great movie, guys. And look, guys, I risked a lot even talking about this movie here today. I broke the first rule, I broke the second rule, and I damn sure broke the third rule of Fight Club. So yeah, that's what I do for you guys. I break Fight Club rules. But there you have it, guys. That's my 10 or my 11 movies that I want to come to 4K from the Fox catalog. Let me know in the comment section below if you want me to do other studios. I could do Hollywood Pictures, I could do Touchstone, and talk about some of those movies that I want to see come to 4K. I think these kind of videos just help start the conversation between all of us, and just maybe somebody sees this. I don't know, maybe somebody at Sony sees this or Disney sees this and they're like, hey, they want this one, and a lot of people are commenting about it. I think these kind of conversations just help push the momentum forward on getting some of these movies done on 4K. But real quick, guys, before we get out of here, I have to mention this one title, this Fox Searchlight title, Barbarian. Yes, Sony now has control over whether or not we get Barbarian on 4K or Blu-ray, because this movie doesn't even have any kind of physical release. It didn't even get a DVD release. So Sony, guys, you would do a lot in establishing good faith in the physical media community if you corrected a horrible Disney mistake and put Barbarian out, a movie that was in theaters for weeks, was in theaters and never got a physical release. We need that movie on Blu-ray, 4K. Give it a steelbook, for Christ's sake. It deserves it at this point, right? But yeah, correct Disney's mistakes. I mean, we would buy it. People would come out in droves to buy Barbarian on physical, because it's kind of just built up this reputation in the physical media community as it's kind of being this kind of martyr of physical media, I guess, at this point. You know, the sacrificial lamb, the one that was never granted a physical release, even though it got a theatrical release and was actually a good movie that people liked critically, movie that people went out to the theaters to see. And it was never released physical. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me or anybody in the community. So correct that mistake for sure. But there you have it, guys. That's my video. The movies from Fox that I want to see hit 4K under the new Sony Disney partnership. Let me know in the comment section below. Again, some of your picks. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on all my social media accounts down below in the description. And we'll see you next time.